A lot of y'all favorites, they be sitting up here, they be having their whole desk, and they be having their papers out, and they pen and they glasses, and they be reading like it's like CNN or MSNBC, but it's more like Fox News, baby. Okay, it's more like Newsmax, a whole bunch of lies. The lies, the lies, the lies. Okay, don't know where they getting their information from, don't know what the hell they talking about. Okay, and mind you, a lot of the times I don't get it right. Okay, this is not a news channel. This is more like commentary. It's more my opinion. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I get everything right. But what I am saying is that I try to be a little bit knowledgeable of the things that I talk about, just like a little bit, right? You know, I don't claim to be an expert, but it's some of these people, they coming out, honey, with commentary and don't know what the hell they're talking about. Just trying to hop on every trend and and you don't even know what you're talking about, sweetie. You take a headline and then you create a whole story with it. Who does that? And then be having all these papers and notes. Your papers and notes, there's nothing on there. Okay? It's giving Fox News. It's giving fake news. It's giving scams, schemes, and frauds. Why y'all ain't tell me that my pillows was up? Anyways. All right, so welcome back to the house and whatnot. So today I want to go ahead and share this blind item from Bravo and Cocktails. Like I was saying, I didn't make this up. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe that they're talking about Lenithia Leaks. Some believe it to be about Kim Zolciak. I don't really see it being about Kim Zolciak, but allegedly one of these women was at Portia's party, and you know, they made it apparent that they want to be back into the spotlight. More specifically, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yeah. And they're going to use SIDORA to do it, okay? So it's a scheme and a scandal in Atlanta, honey, and we got to go ahead and talk about it. But before we get into that, I definitely want to mention the Real Housewives of Miami, baby. If you are not watching the Real Housewives of Miami, then I don't have a clue what you're doing, okay? I was just talking to somebody yesterday about Salt Lake City, and I was just like, I haven't watched the show in like a month and a half, 2 months. Is it good? Is there anything happening? And then they go, no, not really. And I'm like, okay, just Jen Shah, you know, continuing on to be a fraud. Nothing to see here. Whitney had the bad weather, then broke up. Lisa Barlow's being annoying and weird as always. You know, Princess Meredith has found her voice and her backbone, and she's finally engaging and things like that. Angie Harrington has the thing, the burn page and whatever. And Jen Shah, you deserve to get your ass dissed for all the crimes that you committed against those innocent people. You deserve to have the Shah Exposed page be a thing. Okay, because we've yet to get an apology. We don't have no. Well, maybe she did apologize. I think she apologized in court, but she needs to apologize to the public for lying. You lied to us. You maintained your innocence, I think, for like a year or two at this point. Maybe like a year at this point. You maintained your innocence. I don't know what the timeline is, but you ought to be ashamed of yourself for lying to us. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for being a thief, but you ought to be ashamed of yourself for lying. How dare you sit up here and do all of these interviews and do all of these confessionals and film this show, lying and lying and lying and lying, knowing that your ass was guilty. Send her to jail now, ASAP, after this shit. The electric chair. I'm kidding. But yeah, so no, I'm not watching Salt Lake City, but I'll tell you what I am watching. Miami. Okay, The Real Housewives of Miami season 5 on Peacock just dropped today. Y'all go ahead to Peacock, binge the first 4 episodes. Listen, it's $4.99 for the premium tier, so you can watch. You know, there are other ways to watch if you know how to finesse the system. Okay. Now, I'm not encouraging criminal behavior, but you do what you got to do, especially in Joe Biden's economy. Now, let me just update you guys on what the hell is happening with Real Housewives of Miami. Marisol is an alcoholic. Marisol has an addiction. Marisol has a problem. And I hate that no one sees it. I hate that nobody's talking about it. I hate it that no one has mentioned the fact that Marisol is literally obsessed with liquor, which is fine. Because listen, I come on here every night with my glass of wine, and you know, I be going out sometimes and I be doing what I do, and you know, Aaron is going to always come to the function with a bottle of liquor. Like, he's always going to do it. But I don't need liquor nor wine to function. And that's not all I talk about. Why is it that every time Marisol walks into a room, she's talking about alcohol? It's like, sis, go detox, okay? Betty Ford, okay, you need to take a trip across the country, cause baby, it's not healthy nor normal. Um, the girls are still obsessed with Larsa Pippen and her lifestyle and her OnlyFans and her butt and her lifestyles. Already said that. Her past with Kim Kardashian. You know, they're haters. Lisa basically repeated a meme from Instagram that said that, you know, Larsa lives in the hood and that all of the OnlyFans and prostitutes and hookers and whores live in her building, her penthouse up there in Miami and whatnot. And then whatchamacallit, Larsa got wind of that and basically said, well, since you want to talk about my house, I'm going to talk about your house, Lisa. And I feel so bad for Lisa because Lisa is defending her institution that is her marriage, but she knows that it's falling apart, but I don't think she knows the severity of it. I don't think she knows that Lenny has a boyfriend. Okay. So it's a whole hot mess. But Larsa then attacks her on her home by saying, well, girl, at least I don't have to rent my house out. You rent your backyard out every weekend just to pay the mortgage. And poor, what's her name? Lisa Hochstein gonna talk about, I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a mortgage. Okay. And then Larsa was like, yeah, you do. I don't think you know that you have one, but you have a mortgage. Now, what they do have is a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit. Lenny has a home equity line of credit that he took out just in case one day he needs a little bit of cash, which he might need since, you know, he's gonna have to pay these divorce lawyers and whatnot. Foreshadowing the situation. Spoiler alert. And it's a whole situation. What is the difference though? Let me do a quick Google search. Home equity, what is it called? Home equity. A home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC, is a line of credit secured by your home that gives you a revolving credit line to use for large expenses or to consolidate higher interest rate debt on other loans, such as credit cards. So what's the difference between that and a mortgage? The key difference between a home equity loan and a traditional mortgage is that the borrower takes out a home equity loan when they already own or have equity in the property. So basically, a home equity loan is taken out like a mortgage then. You may not needed the mortgage to obtain the home, but you essentially took out the mortgage after the home. So it's like kind of the same thing. Or you do kind of have a mortgage. Do you not? Then they say, well, we haven't taken a penny out of it. Okay, Lisa, I don't know what you got going on, but your husband's cheating on you. He has a girlfriend. And the weird thing about the situation is that, so Larsa and Lisa are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Piggybacking off of that situation, Lisa's home life is a whole mess because her husband is trash, absolute trash. I mean, it kind of broke my heart watching this, and trigger warning, like it's hard to watch for me. Okay, it's hard to watch because he's cheating on this woman and he gets caught by a hot mic, right? And he basically says on the hot mic that he is not having sex with his wife, Lisa. And I'm assuming Lisa has no clue about this. I'm sure she has feelings, but I don't think she knows details. He says he's currently not having sex with his wife, Lisa, because he doesn't want to cheat on the person who he really cares about. But you're okay admitting on this hot mic to this other dude that you are cheating physically and emotionally with another woman on your wife. You don't want to cheat on the girlfriend, but you're okay with cheating on the wife. Instead of just breaking up with a girlfriend and being like, listen, this is not okay with me. Like, this relationship is not for me anymore. The whole situation is a mess, y'all. Go and watch the Real Housewives of Miami. The black girls are bringing it. Kiki is bringing it. Gertie is stepping it up this season, which I really love. Who else? Marisol actually is not getting on my nerves, even though she's an alcoholic. Alexia hasn't pissed me off yet. And I think that's it. So it's really, really good. So much better than Salt Lake City. I think because I can relate to the girls a little bit more. Like, Miami to me is just more relatable than Salt Lake City as a city, in general. And I think it's a bit more urban because there are black women, and they're black women that, again, I can relate to a little bit more. Gertie is from Haiti. Kiki seems to be some sort of, I don't know if she's an Afro-Latina something. She has an accent. I don't really know, but they're dark. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. They're tall. They're in Miami. So it's like, it's a different type of black woman versus like Mary Cosby, who's like a Salt Lake City black woman. Like, there's a difference. It's levels to blackness. Okay. Now, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that situation in the comments down below. I did not mean to talk that much about Miami. It's just so good. It's just so. And then y'all, Lisa, she said, girl, you do have a mortgage. Do you want me to look it up? It's online. It's public knowledge. And then Lisa goes, well, I mean, it's also on the internet that you still husbands. Okay. But is that true? And Larsa was stunned at the situation. Okay. Now listen, Larsa is coming in hot. She was a little bit boring. She was cute last season, a little bit boring, but Larsa said, bitch, I got your ass. Okay, I got all of y'all's asses this season, and it's really, really good. So let's go ahead and talk about this blind item. Let me go ahead and take a screenshot. It's really interesting. Bravos and cocktails. This is what you came for. I'm going to try to talk about this for at least 10 minutes since I gave y'all 10 minutes on Miami. I don't want to shortchange you guys. A return, they say. Now, this was published on November 27th of 2022. So what, 2 weeks ago or something like that? A week ago, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. Okay. So this is the blind item. So don't say I'm making stuff up. Now, I believe this blind item is about Lenithia Leaks, not Kim Zolciak, but the comments say Kim Zolciak. And I think because the email on here is from Anonymous and the email says wig@bravo.com. So that may be a hint that it might be about Kim Zolciak. But to me, the description doesn't fit Kim Zolciak, so I'm just a little bit confused at the situation. The subject line says a return. Okay, spill it to bravoandcocktails.com. The former Atlanta housewife was talking about a return to the show at her friend's wedding. Okay. Worldwide found it hysterical because she knows the network is done with her. Drew was at the wedding, who's already on the show. We know Kandi was at the wedding, and Portia's wedding. Kandi's already on the show. We do know that Kim Zolciak was there, a former housewife. We know that NeNe was there, a former housewife. And who else? Who were the other former Atlanta housewives? Shamia was there, but she's not pressed to be on Housewives. So yeah, that's all I can think of is Kim and NeNe. Y'all help me figure out some other names. Okay, so this housewife was talking about a return to the show at her friend's wedding, Portia. Worldwide, Kandi, we know that's Kandi, found it hysterical because she knows the network is done with her. Okay. The network being done with somebody, that sounds like NeNe. Now, I know Kim Zolciak had the 6-7 seasons of Don't Be Tardy for the Party, and I think her daughter just came out saying that she's doing a dating show or something like that, or, something like The Simple Life or something. Okay, not the one who got the DUI, but the other one that recently came out and said that the married folks be in her DMs. Okay, Brielle came out, and let me read this story. Okay, we're gonna get to that too. But Brielle basically came out and said that the married men be in her DMs. And I just want to know, what is it about the Zolciaks and the Biermans to where they are so, the married men just attract them? Portia and NeNe too. Worldwide, of course, found it hysterical because she knows the network is done with her. Sounds like NeNe. She was hanging a lot with one of the newer wives and her author husband. Apparently, him and her husband made plans to work out together. She thinks that this will be a good angle to get her back on to the show. Okay, so let's dissect that. She was hanging a lot with one of the newer wives, which would be Drew, and her author husband, because we saw last season he was in the process of trying to figure out what he was going to do about that book about co-parenting or being a step parent or something like that. Being a step parent, right? So they're talking about Drew. Apparently, him and her husband. Oh, her husband. So maybe this is about Kim Zolciak. Apparently, him and her husband made plans to work out together. NeNe doesn't have a husband. So maybe it is Kim Zolciak. She thinks this will be a good angle to get her back onto the show. Now, if this is Kim Zolciak, I have two questions. One, how is Bravo done with Kim Zolciak? Like, I didn't understand that. Like, what public knowledge do we have that kind of lets us know that Kim Zolciak is like been ousted from Bravo? That is confusing to me. So y'all help me out in the comments. But okay, it might be Kim Zolciak. And then there are some comments under here. They're all saying Kim Zolciak. Okay. Oh, Cynthia Bailey was also on there, but her husband, she's not with her husband. Okay. I was thinking Nene though, because I do know that Nene is friends with Drew Sidora. We do know that Drew Sidora and Nene frequent the Lenithia Lounge. They hang out there. Um, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe Neone wants to work out with Ralph or something like that. Right? And I feel like it would be more hysterical if Nene was talking about a comeback, because you gon' make a comeback, after you done sued the people. So that sounds just like if Candy's gonna listen in on the tea and it was so-called hysterical, like that makes more sense if it was Nene, because obviously Nene has been blackballed from the network. So who y'all think? If we're gonna go with the technicals, I would say Kim Zolciak, I guess, because of the husband part. He actually has a husband. But who knows? You know what I mean? Recently, Andy Cohen had Bethany back on at the Watch What Happens Live or whatever out there in New York City. And she has been like on a 3-year campaign trashing Bravo, trashing Andy Cohen, trashing the Housewives. I don't think it's been nowhere near the level of Nene, because we do know Nene a couple of years ago, like during the pandemic, was trashing Andy Cohen and them, talking about he's a big old racist and whatchamacallit is a big old cokehead. Okay. And then a couple of years later, I think last year or this year, can't remember, she filed that lawsuit citing a hostile work environment, and she wanted her coins. She wanted $7 million. Greg borrowed $10,000. Puppet master. Okay. So listen, so my thought process was, well, if Bethany, who's been trashing the network and trashing her show that made her famous and made her be able to build these $1 million brands, if she can be back on Bravo, could Nene be back on Bravo? I don't know, you guys. I don't know, but it's a very sticky situation. So we got to go ahead and talk about it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day.